With the ongoing revolution in digital and social media, contemporary marketers and entrepreneurs need help. One form of help resides in the effective integration of analytics with strategic marketing thought. Hello everyone, I'm Gary Hunter, a marketing professor. I'd like to introduce you to strategic marketing and help you learn more about marketing and some of the fundamentals that underlie strategic marketing. The way I like to do that is by using 50 different graphics. So it's 50, what I call the Fab 50 graphics. So without any further ado, here's my introduction to marketing, and I hope it will help you to kind of master the fundamentals. The first thing to think about really is, what is marketing? So the first person I'd like to turn to is a famous management scholar, or one of the best strategists of all time, named Peter Drucker. So Peter Drucker had this quote to say about what is marketing, and really what is the purpose of a business. The purpose of a business is to create a customer. So when we think about marketing, we think first about customers. So there's a lot of work that goes on now in terms of strategy that focuses on customers first, and this revolution in customer-centric strategy puts marketing at the center of importance for many organizations. Marketing is really focused on value. Value is what is basically the difference in benefits and cost. And one of the best scholars to kind of summarize that was Valerie Zaipel with this quote in her work in 1998. Val kind of looks at, it's basically the difference in what is given versus what is received. So that's kind of what we're thinking about value, and value is going to be central to understanding marketing. What else is kind of important in the definition of marketing? Well, marketing has always had an element of exchange. That is the idea of I give something to you and receive something back. So both sides of the party are really involved in an exchange, and that notion of exchange is at the core of what defines marketing. Marketing is also about trying to create value. So it's not just communicating value. Communicating is a very important part. And most people, when they think of marketing, think of just the communications part. They think of advertising, or they think of sales, or just the message that marketers are trying to convey. But what I'm going to teach primarily is a strategic version of marketing, so you've got an idea of what strategic marketing is all about. Another area that's really important to marketing is really not just creating and communicating, but also delivering value to customers. So this idea of kind of creating, communicating, delivering value, that's often on when you get into supply chain management or business-to-business concerns, the concept of delivering value becomes vital to that whole process. So we think about those as kind of the building blocks, value being what marketers are trying to create, creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging value with customers and other stakeholders, which gets pretty close to the idea of what marketing's, the American Marketing Association's definition is of marketing, which is shown here. Okay, so moving from marketing to the question of what is strategy becomes quite a shift, or quite a difference. We're getting at the idea of strategic marketing. What is marketing strategy? We've defined marketing, but what then is strategy? So strategy is a term that starts really with military origins. So I'm going to go all the way back to kind of its roots. And there are several strategic sources, or several military theorists and strategists who have talked about what is strategy. But I'll just go with Karl von Clausewitz, who's one of the greatest writers of the book on war, who provided this definition of what strategy is. So strategy is really kind of this idea of what you're trying to achieve, or basically what you're trying to do to achieve the object of war. Moving closer to home, or more back into sort of the business perspective, I would like to turn to another famous management scholar, Michael Porter, who wrote the article, What is Strategy, in HBR in 1996. And what Porter really pointed out is that strategy has a real element that focuses on what's different. This is kind of one of Porter's major contributions to thinking about strategy. That is, you're thinking about what's unique about your offering, what's really different about what you have, and thinking about what makes you different, unique. That's very much tied to the ideas later as we look at things related to value. If you just look at kind of a straight definition from a dictionary in Oxford, this is the Oxford English version, basically defining strategy as a plan or a policy that's deployed, and it extends it kind of beyond war into other elements. So it's really kind of this idea of strategy is a plan. So it's kind of this idea of strategy has a planning component. And if we put all those together with the idea of what we said marketing was earlier, then a customer-centric marketing strategy is basically a plan to provide value to specific customers that you've chosen to target. So I'll get more into detail about that, but what I want you to notice is that marketing strategy is really going to focus on two major components. That is, it's going to be about planning, so some way of kind of going about a plan. But the central components of that are going to be that you're choosing your target market. So we'll talk a little bit about target market, and you're deciding what you're going to do to kind of tailor your offering to that target market. So if we think about it that way, strategy is really about how do you create value at the center part of marketing, and really it's the customers that we choose. So that is, it's a target market. So I'll talk some about target markets, but really that's just basically who you're trying to attract. These are often these may be strangers to your organization that you haven't marketed anything or sold anything to before. When I use the word strangers, that's more contemporary terminology from the digital space. That is also called prospects, or people with whom we haven't done business with in the past. Those could be your target market, or your target market could be someone with whom you have done business in the past. But essentially, this target market is going to be defined by people who kind of value things in a similar way, or who we think might value things in a similar way. So that target market, when we add to that all the things that we can do to kind of change our offering, that's what a marketing mix is. So a marketing mix is a key marketing term in the sense of it's basically the totality of everything we can change about our offering. So it could be we can change the pricing, we can change where we're selling it, we can change how it's promoted, we can change the attributes that we want people to associate with it by changing the actual attributes on the products or changing the features on the product. We can do a number of different things. We can change our financing terms, we can change the cost structure that's associated with it. We can change the physical distribution and the availability of that product in numerous different places. We can do rebates. We can do different types of promotions that emphasize different aspects of the product so that it creates a different image to the consumer. All these different things that we can change about our offering is really what a marketing mix is about. So a strategy has just these two components, that is a marketing mix and a target market. And the essence of kind of solid strategy is really trying to fill the gap that's between those. That is, what we're trying to do is between the marketing mix, by changing our marketing mix and tailoring it to that target market, we're trying to create customer value. So we'll have a strategy essentially for each target market we're going after. So marketers are going to have multiple strategies, and those strategies are going to try to target these different target markets. All the best with your efforts to master marketing and sales. I'm Gary Hunter, and I hope you have a great day.